Hey, what's going on, guys? Goose here, man, and I got another video for you. And if you're new to the channel, before I get started, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell. Click all notifications because we do videos on here and sports. It's not just LSU, so not just an LSU channel. So we do other stuff like other stuff. So anyway, let's get to the point of this video. And the point of this video is about Ed Orgeron. Head football coach, still the head football coach of LSU. Um, how much longer he's the head football coach for LSU remains to be seen. But I mean, where did it all go wrong for Ed? Where did it all go wrong for Ed? Because a few years ago they won the national title. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go back to the 2018 football season. Though he went out, he went out and got Joe Burrow in the transfer portal, and then he went out and got Cole Tracy in the transfer portal, a kicker, and both those were home runs. LSU went 10-3. They won the Fiesta Bowl, and things were starting to look on the up and up after things were going downward, in a downward turn with Les Miles. Then 2019 happens, and they win the national championship. They win the SEC and the national championship, and they go 15-0. First time LSU was undefeated since the 1958 football season, when they won a national title back in '58. So, fix this here. So, and then Ed Orgeron was on top of the world. I mean, he could do no wrong. It just looked like everything was going to work out perfectly. It looked like he was the right man for the job. And then all of a sudden, he makes a questionable hire in Bo Pelini. Makes a very questionable hire in Bo Pelini. At first, I thought this was going to be. I thought it was going to work out. But looking back on it, if you look back on it, and it was really a setup for disaster, just because of what Ed Orgeron, what the kind of defense that he wanted Bo Pelini to run, and what kind of talent LSU had on the football team. Because remember, Dave Aranda was the defensive coordinator since 2016, so they were recruiting a certain way. Aranda ran a 3-4, so those are the players that they were recruiting. They were recruiting players that could run a 3-4, not a 4-3, which is what Orgeron wanted. And he just told Bo Pelini, I don't care, we're run a 4-3, run a 4-3. That's what we want. And you saw what happened. Disastrous. The players obviously didn't trust the coaching that they were getting, and LSU had an historic bad defense. Offense, they're averaging about 35 points a game in 2020. So, I mean, could the offense have been better in 2020? Yeah, but I mean, at least they were able to run football a little bit in 2020. This year they can't. So fast forward to 2021. Looked like Marcus Freeman was going to get the DC job. He chose to go to Notre Dame. No problem there. I mean, Notre Dame is a great university, but we couldn't get Derek Mason, couldn't get Barry Odom. LSU hires two unproven coordinators, two coordinators who have never called a game at the Division I level in Jake Peets, and then Dronte Jones. And then all of a sudden, what happens? UCLA happens. LSU comes out flat. I mean, they come out totally flat. The defense looks just like they did last year in 2020, where they couldn't stop the crossing routes. The tight end, I think he's still running for touchdowns against LSU. LSU gets blown out against UCLA. The score really wasn't indicative of how bad LSU got beat, but LSU got beat bad. And then right then and there, the clock was ticking on Ed Orgeron. It was tick, 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 tick. It was ticking. LSU had 3 weeks to get it straight. 3 weeks. McNeese, Central Michigan, and then Mississippi State. 3 teams that they were much better than, talent-wise. And they won all 3. Yeah, they struggled against McNeese State. they won. I mean, I got my own theories on why that game was close, but it's pointless. Then Central Michigan, LSU played probably the best game that they played all year. But I know it's against a subpar opponent, but they did what they had to do. They beat Central Michigan, and they go on a road against Mississippi State. And the game was a little closer than it should have been, but LSU didn't win the game on the road in the SEC, and they go home against Auburn, a team that hadn't beaten LSU since 1999 in Baton Rouge. I was at that game, by the way, in '99. And LSU they pretty much lead the whole game until the end, when Auburn scores late and takes the lead, and LSU can't get the job done at the end. Auburn intercepts a pass, they win the football game. But I thought the defense, outside of Bo Nix, I thought the defense played okay against Auburn. I mean, Tank Bigsby didn't have an outstanding game running the football, but I mean, the offense was horrible in that game because they couldn't run the football. I think they ended up with 11 yards rushing in the Auburn game. That's why they lost, because they couldn't run the football against Auburn. So, all right, then the Kentucky game happens. A lot of rumblings with the Kentucky game, because during the Kentucky week is when a troll called up the Ed Orgeron, the weekly call show, and trolled the coach a little bit. The coach responded, which he probably shouldn't have, but he responded back with a smart-ass comment. But you just can't respond to that if you're a head coach of a Division I school, or if you're an NFL coach. You can't do that. Anyway, so Kentucky comes around, and I really wasn't. After the loss to Auburn, I really wasn't confident that they were going to beat Kentucky. I didn't think LSU would get blown out the way they did. 42-21. Kentucky had like 300 yards of rushing. Yeah, they did have the conference leader in rushing. They had the conference leader. Kentucky's running back leads the league in rushing. Can't get out of my mouth. Anyway, so they run for 300 yards. Post game, Ed Orgeron said, "Oh, we're kind of surprised that they ran the ball that well against us." You know, I mean, did you watch film? Kentucky is a very good running football team. Did you watch film? Guess not. So a lot of rumblings that was it going to happen? Was he going to get fired Monday or Sunday? Didn't happen. Monday didn't happen. So here we are. At Thursday, and Ed Orgeron will coach the Florida game now. Will he coach past the Florida game? I guess it all depends what happens Saturday morning in Baton Rouge. LSU plays Florida, a game that I don't think LSU is going to win. I might actually go to the game. My brother-in-law's a Florida fan, and he's been pounding me to go, but might end up going. But if this game goes the way I think it is, and that means not very well for LSU. I think this is going to be the last game that Orgeron coaches for LSU, for a variety of reasons. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious that the team is just they just don't trust the coaches. They don't trust the coaches. I mean, I get Scott Wilbur doesn't want to fire a coach mid-season. It's not his MO, but this is a little different. I mean, you got a team which they're just not responding to the coaching, and I think if they go out and it gets blown out against Florida, which I think will happen, by the way, I think it's just time to end it. I think it's time to end it. So it's not working. You know, if something's not working, it's time just to end it. I mean, if you're in a relationship with somebody and it's just not working out, you don't just keep going and thinking things are going to get better. No, it just comes to a point where it's just not going to get better. It's time to cut bait. It's time to fire Ed Orgeron. It's just time. Have a good one. Go Tigers.